my story is I used to also be a professional comedian. I didn't make a lot, but it was when I was in 5th grade. I used to at night think of jokes, and just my whole goal for the next day was make Wade DeArmond laugh. And I think I achieved that. So,
were you a professional comedian in 5th grade, or you're professional?
Yeah. Okay. No, that's where the gap is for me. Make Wade laugh was my day's agenda. So I'll profess that I was doing that, and then stand up over the weekend that I paid to play. 1, 2, 3, go.
Jennifer Hardy, har har.
Believe it or not.
Welcome to the Lawyer Dana Show.
The Lawyer Dana Podcast.
Wow, we have a lot to talk about.
And we're going to do it right after this.
Welcome to the Lawyer Dana Podcast.
So other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? So we're going to track, make a note, Brenda, of whenever I say that Mrs. Lincoln joke, because I think I say it a lot. Mm-hmm. And we're also tracking in the podcast how often Jennifer goes, and da-da-da-da-da.
What? Oh.
And we're making a master clip of it's just going to be Jennifer. Like, here's a recap of the first year of the Lawyer Dana Podcast, and it's just going to be Jennifer going and da 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 da.
You can make it into a theme song.
I do that?
Yeah, you say da 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 a lot, enough to where I've noticed, and like we're going to track it. I shouldn't have told you.
Yeah, you'll be like.
I think you're still going to do it. I think you're still going to do it without thinking about it, even though I told you, which is why I told you. But and cut this part where I said it too.
You're saying I say da 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 da.
Yeah.
Like you'll be talking about something and you'll be like, Bridget, Daniel told me that he needs you to work on the probate matter and da 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 da.
You mean etc.
I feel like I want to call BS because I've edited all of these.
Oh no!
And I don't think I've paid attention to it.
It was in the past 2 episodes that I watched.
I don't. Maybe
I watched this. I watched today's episode. I watched Friday's episode. I watched it this morning. I was up at like 7 this morning, and I watched it.
You're up at 7?
I was up at 7 and went to breakfast and came back from breakfast to here.
That is shocking.
I know.
Are you okay?
Usually on the podcast, I'm like trying to sleep till like 9:45 and like shower from 9:45 to 10 and hoping that they're taking a long time because I'm just wiped out by the end of the week. And for some reason, I wasn't. Actually, I think I know why. It's because I don't drink caffeine anymore. Literally, the only thing I drink now is water. And I think occasionally I'll consider like fresh actual pineapple juice and freshly squeezed orange juice. But I have really yet to have that. I ate like a half an orange in the past month. And otherwise, all I drink is water. No wine, no beer, no alcohol of any sort.
Except, was it yesterday you called me and he went in his wine room and he was looking at the wine. He was like, oh man, some of this looks so delicious. I better get out of here.
Hey, I mean, if you're
I know.
donate all your wine. You girl will
I'm gonna be selling all my wine. My 2 nieces, they're staying with us, and they're sleeping in that room because my brother-in-law apparently doesn't want to sleep in a room with 2 refrigerators in it, like humming or whatever sound. I guess you can hear them. Uh-huh. You must, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
When they kick on, and so they're sleeping in there, and they're 15, and I'm like, do not touch that wine. And I go, see that bottle right there? That's a semester of college. Do not touch any of the wine. It's really expensive. Don't touch it. And my brother-in-law is like, hey, girls, make note of which bottle that was so we can take it when we leave.
That's hilarious. Smuggle it in your bag on your way out.
Both of them double-fisted. Grab one and go.
So are they going to be sophomores?
I don't know.
They have to be.
I'm under the illusion that they're 15. I think they're 5. I still see them as the 2 little 5-year-olds when I met them when my wife and I got married.
Yeah.
To me, they're just the twins, the 2 little twins. And now they're like these very quiet, young, like kind of the same, but like in these weirdly bigger
you're
bodies.
You're not to be married 12 years, right? Or
13.
Okay, so
this month. Wait. No, next month.
So they had to have been younger than that when you met them. If they're 15?
They're toddlers, it sounds like.
Yeah.
This is not adding
Were they
up.
like this tall? Or
I think
this
they're
tall?
about maybe like 3.
Okay. Yeah. That makes more
but I like really register because so yeah, that's probably about how I see them. But I remember their 5th birthday was the first time that I was consciously like realized and was aware of how old they are.
Mm-hmm.
And now that they're 15, I'm sort of consciously maybe aware of how old they are. So they'll probably be 15 in my mind for the next 10 years. But really, they're just 5-year-olds in these weird, awkward, larger bodies.
No.
Makes sense.
And they're like kind of like quiet. And we're gonna come out here and they play guitar, and one of them plays trumpet and one of them plays flute. And so they were gonna they brought their flute and trumpet, and they were gonna bring their guitars. I was like, no, don't bring your guitars, because I have 2 electric guitars and they've been playing acoustic. So my objective is to like blow them away with getting to play an electric guitar in a real setup for the first time, and like see if I can get them addicted to that, and then we have a band.
And then create your own girl band.
Yeah, Ava, Audrey, and Dana. You'll exactly sound like a girl band. And my friend Brent is coming over on Sunday. He actually plays guitar, and he came over a couple of weeks ago for the first time, and we actually were able to like really jam out on stuff.
That's
So
cool.
I finally have a friend to play music with.
So how you come along with learning every single instrument?
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Well, every like rock instrument.
that's pretty cool.
So bass, guitar, keyboard.
Uh-huh.
I already know drums.
Yeah.
I can play trumpet.
What songs can you play on the guitar?
Several Tool songs. Play Push It.
Well, that's a fun one.
Do you know that one?
By Tool or by Salt
Tool.
and Pepper? Oh.
Not by Salt and Pepper.
Because now I'm interested. Before I wasn't.
How hard could the guitar part on Push It by Salt and Pepper be?
I don't know, but figure it out. I expect like
I could-
4 podcasts.
I could play the
from
drum
now,
part for you.
You can play Salt and Pepper on the guitar.
It'll probably take us to the end of the summer, but we'll have like a setup we'll have a setup in here where we film, where we have all the cameras and we film music production and stuff. My goal for a year from now is that what I'm working on is that I'll play the guitar part and the bass part and the drums part and the keyboard part and sing, and basically multi-track it all live, like, and then have like 5 different screens or 5 different setups. And like when I move from one instrument to the other, like a video will come down and it'll show when I tracked the first one. And so it's like live karaoke with real instruments and me playing all of it. It's the ultimate egotistical show off.
I was going to say, why?
Right.
Why are you doing
Because
that?
I don't have anybody else to play music with that works with my schedule, or that works in with the right location, or it's almost out of necessity. It's like I haven't found my Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson, so I'll just learn those instruments too.
So are you like writing your own music, or are you like a one-man cover band?
So I'm kind of doing with music. Well, I'm kind of doing with music what I do with comedy. Is like a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Because I like to play other people's music. Like if I like the music, I want to play it, and if I like the comedy routine, like I want to tell the jokes.
Yeah, I heard you recently did a comedy.
I did. I did my first stand-up on Saturday.
So tell us a few of your.
You guys want to watch it? Can we?
A few of your jokes.
Could we watch it? You don't have your phone with you? And is that why you didn't answer when I called you during lunch?
Yes, that would be the answer, yes. And I'm guessing you didn't check your chat because I told you to communicate with me through there.
Oh.
So you remember that time that you said, hey, Brenda, talk to me through here because I don't have any unanswered?
Yeah. Well, I haven't checked that today because we've been in the podcast. I haven't checked you. I've been unavailable all day, so if you tried to get in touch with me, I haven't been on my phone at all except for when I was calling out.
Too busy with breakfast.
I mean, we've been shooting a podcast all day too, so
So tell us a joke. What did you tell him?
So
I'm-
on the
I'm-
comedy routine, I
yeah.
basically, so my comedy name is Dane C. Dane.
What? Dane C. Dane.
Yeah, Dane C. period Dane. So Dane C. Dane. My dad doesn't remember this, but when I was growing up, he used to call me Dane C. Dane. And so and I used to always be trying to make him crack up as a kid. So
Yeah.
I've just now that I'm basically a grown up kid with money that can afford, you know, like adult toys to do music and all, you know, video, all this, you know, whatever. And so I'm like, you know what? When I was a kid, I always wanted to do stand up. Always have, always been interested in it, and know a lot of jokes from and listen to a lot of comedy routines. And so like I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna do comedy routines. I think the good news is I'm gonna try and do mostly comedy routines from people that are dead, so people are not saying like I'm stealing, you know, this guy's material and it's hurting his ability to earn a living. Like I don't want Joe Rogan to confront me on stage like Carlos Mencia, right? So, but I wanted to do some Norm Macdonald jokes, who recently passed away in the past year, and he's absolutely one of my favorites.
Wouldn't people know his jokes?
You would think, but not a lot.
Oh.
So on the stand-up routine that I did some original stuff that just stories from my life that crack people up, and then I also did, and I walked up, and I knew that I was going to say some like really like, did he really say that type of jokes? And so I start out with going, and you know, after this set, I got to make sure that nobody, that Google does not associate this with my law firm name, which was one of my, you know, first jokes coming out, and so.
Did you tell them your law firm name?
And the what?
Well, he's sponsored. So.
Oh.
Well, yeah, the law firm sponsored the
So
event,
they-
which is how I got on stage.
I hope that my
But
stand-up comedy
and there was like
routine
six.
doesn't get traced
There was
back
6
to me.
comics, and I was about the middle of the pack, which was I just didn't want to be the worst one. I was definitely not the worst one, and I was better than a good one, and I was way better than this one guy who was like bad, not reading the audience, wasn't funny, like it's just off, and just yeah, he was not good. There was a guy who was a professional comic, and it's been about 20 years since he's done it. He was a writer for Carson in the Arsenio Hall show, and like a professional, like very
That's cool.
good comedian, and he had a really great like 4-minute routine, 5-minute routine that he did, and it was polished and perfect and well organized and well written, well structured, just really, really good. And he, out of everybody, was the one that I wanted to impress, but he didn't see my set. So, and he was like ranting and raving about the girl that went after me. And I was like, she really was good. And she used to be a professional comedian too. And she had stopped for a little bit and then kind of got back into it. So my story is I used to also be a professional comedian. I didn't make a lot, but it was when I was in 5th grade. I used to at night think of jokes, and just my whole goal for the next day was make Wade DeArmond laugh, and I think I achieved that. So
Sorry, were you a professional
that was mine.
comedian in 5th grade, or you're
Yeah.
professional? Okay.
No, that's where the gap is for me. Make Wade laugh was my day's agenda. So I'll profess that I was doing that, and then stand up over the weekend that I paid to play. And yeah, I don't care if I have to buy my way on stage.
So did you tell
If
him?
I'm funny, you know.
Did you tell him the joke where the moth walks into the
No,
bar?
I didn't have the time.
I still don't think I've
'cause
heard that whole
he goes
joke all the way
out.
through.
He goes, how much do you want to do? I was like, 10 or 15 minutes. And he goes, can you do 10? I was like, sure. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know how much material I have. I've never done this before. And they were like, we didn't know he did this. I'm like, why would you?
Because I don't.
So yeah. But it went well. Brenda loved it. And although, you know, I pay her.
She talked very highly.
She did?
about it. Yes.
So and so I went out and I did a routine about I did the vasectomy story, basically.
Oh my god.
How my vasectomy wound up with 4 children within within 9 months.
Oh my god.
I did that one, and then I did 2 old Rodney Dangerfield routines, and no one at all knew him.
Wait, didn't you and Daniel go together?
Daniel had his done in the morning, and Dana had his done in the afternoon.
I actually told the kids part of it. I didn't tell the actual vasectomy story.
Oh my God.
I actually think I could do a half hour to an hour set. Like I could actually go up, and the longer I have, the funnier I will be with it in telling jokes, because then I can go through like all, and just play off of them and build and experiment around. I'm not all that fast with it, but I think part of it's like an energy thing that you go up and like, are you going to entertain him with the energy and the vibe, or are you going to entertain him with the actual material or the jokes, or what are you going to do? But then I did the Rodney Dangerfield, What's in a Name? And I also did the Great Southern Comfort. The Great Southern Comfort is a story about Rodney Dangerfield flying on an airplane, and it's hilarious.
Did you do it as Rodney Dangerfield?
No,
Did you do it?
I did it
your
as
own
me.
Story. Nobody caught on to that.
No, not at all. Yeah, because how am I going to pull off Rodney Dangerfield? Everybody's going to be like knowing that I'm trying to do Rodney Dangerfield, and I don't have a good Rodney Dangerfield impersonation. The guy, the professional comedian, he used to be a stand-up at Dangerfield's in New York.
Oh, wow.
And his Rodney impersonation was the best I've ever seen in person, period. And I think it was better than any of the ones I've ever seen, actually, even on TV. He had it down. And that's because he was mimicking someone he was in person with, which is way easier than even trying to do one like on TV, because you've still got the interpretation of how they come through on the TV, and then there's the actual reality of how that's pulled off. It's kind of the difference between seeing from the front of the stage versus seeing from the back of the stage. It's just different in being able to do it. And this guy, I mean, he nailed it. He had Rodney down. Like he even had, it was just great. And that's where I was like, did you recognize? Because I did some Rodney material, and he goes, man, I'm sorry, I actually didn't catch your set. I was like, no wonder. Because I mean, out of everybody, I wanted his feedback and his criticism.
Right.
Because he went to the girl and he was like, let me work with you, because I can arrange and tighten and polish that, and you'll have that in your pocket for forever. And I was like, he's really, because he really understands writing.
Right.
And it was clear by his set, and it was clear by the things that he was doing. How are we doing on time?
Probably 6 minutes or so.
All right. So on that, then I will do. I'll start with this. So I go. So I just got back from Orlando, and what I actually realized something before I get into this is that I have to go back and listen to see if I did this. But I was with my dad at breakfast, and he goes, I really like comedy that like builds on itself, and the structure of comedy. He goes, that's always much funnier. And I was thinking to myself, like, I sort of intuitively was doing that, but it's nice to have those words on exactly, and that validation to do that. And maybe it's just because of my dad, and I want to seek his approval. Like every child is like ridiculous, right? But anyway, and I realized like I should have done in the name thing. I should have rolled into it and been the reason that I was on the plane was I was traveling to go to see this guy who was going to help me with my personality. Yeah.
Did it help?
I don't know. So I started doing stand-up, and I saw an ad on the internet, and it said, improve your personality. And so I thought, well, that'll be good. So I clicked, and I went to see the guy. And he said that my personality was fine, but it was my name that was a problem. And I was like, my name? What do you mean my name? I mean, how can a name be a problem? Even William Shakespeare said, what's in a name? Mm-hmm. He said, who? I said, Shakespeare, don't you? And he goes, look, you want to listen to me? You want to listen to your friends? I said, I don't understand. Is it good to change your name? He says, of course. I change my name all the time. As a matter of fact, right now I can give you a very good deal. Last week, I had a new name came in, and I need the space. So I'll let you have the name for $500. I said, $500? That's a lot of money for a name. He goes, trust me, you're going to love the name. It's a name that once people hear it, they're going to start saying it. I said, well, what's the name? He said, Dane C. Dane. I said, Dane C. Dane? He said, see, you just heard it and you're starting to say it. And so finally, he goes, look, Seymour, go in the back and bring out a Dane C. Dane. And I'm like, I don't know, man. So anyway, I finally buy the name and I go home. And immediately what?
I was gonna say, did you go home and do a little dancey dance?
I did the dancey dance. I like that. See, it builds. And so I get home and immediately I'm thinking, what did I do? Like I made a mistake. So I call the guy up. I go, hey, this is Daincy Dane. And he goes, who? I go, Daincy Dane. Don't you remember? He goes, oh yeah, Shakespeare's friend. I said, look, I don't like the name. He goes, trust me, try it out for 2 weeks. I guarantee you'll keep the name. So I tried the name out for 2 weeks. I still didn't like it. But I went to find the guy. I couldn't find him. He changed his name. So I don't remember if I did that one first or...
You actually did pretty good Dangerfield.
You think so?
A little bit. Yeah, I could.
I am not trying to imitate.
I could feel him.
You could?
Yeah.
You could sense that it's there.
Hey, I'm one of his biggest fans. I love
He was the funniest thing I've ever seen
his
in my life.
movies crack me up.
And I'm not kidding. You see my drink right here and my chair right here? This is exactly how I saw him, and his foot was right here in this club. And when you saw him, you're laughing at the first joke. And then he hits you with the second joke while you're laughing at the first one. You start laughing at the second one, but you're still laughing at the first one. Then he hits you with the third one. And you're still laughing at the first one. You're also laughing at the second one, and now you're also laughing at the third one.
Well, Bridget's young.
And then he
so-
hit
I don't
the
know who
fourth
that is.
joke.
So-
You don't know who Rodney Dangerfield
Have
is?
you seen Back to School?
No.
Have you seen Caddyshack?
Bits and pieces.
Have you seen Ladybugs?
No.
I quit.
Oh, and he's gone.
Pack this up. The podcast is over. Society is not worth what we are.
welcome, ladies
I
and
mean,
gentlemen.
that's it. That's it.
So we're gonna have to get you to watch Back to School because
Can I bill it to admin?
So freaking funny.
Actually, if
so-
maybe we should watch it as a podcast.
One of my all-time favorite movies is Christmas Vacation.
Is it?
I've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
Oh,
that
yeah.
one.
Oh, well, I had a girl that worked for me, and I kept telling her about it, and I would quote it. Like Christmas time, I'm quoting that movie like constantly.
Oh.
I literally told a boss because I was supposed to get my bonus. And, like, I was waiting on my bonus. And here comes February, and like our bonuses are supposed to be paid, and I was told we were getting them, and no one told me they decided not to give them out.
And you waited till February before you find
So
out?
I call him up. I'm like, hey, I text him. I'm like, hey, Brian, bonus is coming out this week? And he like wrote no. And then I called him immediately. I was like, so what still? Are we getting our bonuses? And he was like, well, you didn't hear? And I was like, no one communicated that we're not getting our bonuses. I just feel like I got the jelly of the month club. And he just gets quiet. And I'm like, dude, seriously? Christmas Vacation? And he starts to laugh. He's like, I think that's one of the funniest things you've ever said. And I'm like, and I'm not laughing right now.
Did you ever get that bonus?
No. It was $15,000. Yeah.
You could have paid for one episode of this podcast with that.
Damn.
But not that much.
And had money left over. It's not that expensive. So
No. But yeah.
it's not that expensive,
Bridget.
Bridget.
The amount of money. I'm like,
No.
hot.
Yeah.
It's not. It's
But no,
not.
seriously, she worked for me. She didn't know anything about Christmas Vacation. I was like, please go watch it. So she did. She said, oh my gosh, it's such a funny movie. And like, she got me a shirt that had like the quote with Aunt Edna. It's like, Clark, is your house on fire? No, Aunt Edna, that's just Christmas lights. Anyway, yeah, you have to see Back to School because
Right.
Yeah.
it's kind of like on that level of humor.
He's walking around. He's this rich guy who owns
Yeah.
a big and tall place, and his son.
It's called
He wants
Big-
to spend time with his son,
Yes.
Or what is it called? Thornton Melon's Big and Fat.
He's like, and he has an ad. He's like, "Are you big? Are you fat?"
When you look at a menu, do you say, okay?
All right, I will watch it.
You have to watch it. It's
I'll
so
report back.
freaking funny. But yeah, it's the best. But he get basically the sum of the movie is he goes off to college. He's never went to college, so he decides he's going to enroll
In
in
order to
college
spend time
with
with
his
his
son.
But his son's like trying to learn and won't let him like
And
spend
he's
money
wanting
and
a
wants to live in
party.
a crappy dorm. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And he like transforms the whole half of the floor of the dorm into like this like penthouse with a hot tub in it,
Luxury, yeah.
luxury. And he's got like hookers in the room. You know?
Yeah.
And he's like, at one point he has like all his papers written in, and he goes, and another thing, the teacher said, "You don't know anything about Kurt Vonnegut." He goes, F me, Kurt Vonnegut, F you.
Like he hires the person to write his paper about himself.
Hires the guy who wrote the book to write the
Yeah.
paper about the book.
Oh my god! All right, I'll watch it.
It's classic.
And there's just one scene where he has a bunch of monkeys in the room, and like he's supposed to be doing like some kind of like watching them and everything. And the guy goes back, and the monkeys are wearing shirts and sunglasses and eating pizza.
I thought they were like one of them smoking a cigarette or something, like hanging out. Right? It's just another of the bad influence.
He's
on-
like, "What? They're on break."
It's funny. It's
Yeah.
nothing but that the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, and Sam Kinnison's in it. And Sam Kinison is one of the professors. He teaches history.
She has no idea who
You
Sam
can-
Kinison
Do
is.
you not know who Sam Kinison is?
No idea.
Okay, so Bridget, look, hold on. All right, there's an
He
important
caught it
lesson.
before you.
There's an important lesson. There's an important lesson she needs to learn. Don't.
And I'm
calm down.
hard
I
as-
got this.
Okay.
I got this. Bridget. The production's leaving, so hopefully they left this running. So there's an important lesson. All right, it's about marriage. You need to know.
Is this related to the Sam Kinison thing?
Just you'll see. And but it's a very important lesson that Sam, bless his soul, you know, he died in a car wreck actually, and he taught this lesson. It was about marriage, and this is very important for our law firm. And so everybody thinks that marriage is happiness and roses, and you get married and there's a honeymoon part, and you know your spouse is they're so nice to you and they're loving, and oh honey, and we're gonna be together forever, and it's just roses and filet mignon and nice dinners and vacations and all of life. It's just happily ever after. And so I want you to just look really closely. Look really, really, really. Lean in. Can you lean in?
I feel like I should.
Lean in. And just always remember this as somebody who's been married for the last 10 years. Okay. And remember, this is the best advice that I can ever give you. No! You ruined my heart! You stabbed me in the heart! You ruined my soul! Don't do it!
Aren't you the one that tries to save divorces or marriages?
So that's my best Sam Kinison. I've never actually tried to do a Sam Kinison that was on the fly. It's probably horrible.
Can I? Is there any chance I can try this?
Come,
So Sam Kinison literally stands over.
please have this on camera.
We're bringing this on. He's writing this.
Do it as if I'm the audience member.
So he looks over he stands over Rodney Dangerfield, and he gets right in his face, and he's like, so tell me why you think, you know, and he's just going at him, and he's going at him. He's like, I love you. And he walks like he just does this where he just hammers it, and then walks away. Yours was good. Yours was that like, I mean, it's, but he
was it? I thought I sucked.
No. It's screaming. It's
Oh.
screaming.
I think his was better. Do you think his was better?
I'm gonna give it.
Yeah.
Give it to him.
And I think, what I realized when you did it, I was like, the cadence it's not just screaming. It's the exact way that he screams.
It's the movie. In the
Yeah.
movie, he's like, tell me. And then he's like freaking out. He's like about to fall over. It's hilarious. You have to see it.
Sam.
Well, I guess I'll never forget Sam now because 2 men just screamed at me about it.
Oh, yeah, no. You watch it and like.
All right. Hold on. We got to play it for her. Can we, here? Do you have your phone with you?
I think it's in this drawer.
Please no one fall over with a heart attack from screaming.
I know.
Sam Kinison, marriage. Here we go.
Michael?
Michael?
Well, Michael, if you ever think about getting married, if you ever think you've met the right woman, you want to settle down, change your life, you do me a favor, Mike? Remember this face. Because you get married, Mike, that's going to be your fucking face.
That's funny. Is that his shtick? Does he do that in all of his? Okay. That's funny.
His material is, and he pulls that off so well.
That role in Back to Susan.
And even the note he hits when he does it, it's the note, it's the tone, it's the length that he does it. You really, you got to get it right.
Yep.
Okay.
And on that note,
Robert Downey Jr., right?
I mean, I've only seen him in Iron Man.
Oh, he's in it, real young.
oh yeah, he's in it. Ronnie or
Yeah, it's when he
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah,
he's like 16
blue hair.
or early 20s.
Oh.
Yeah.
Before the drugs and
I was
alcohol
gonna say,
got
is
him.
this pre-drug
during.
addiction or during it?
Just before.
Probably
Just
It was
before?
Just after that he went off.
So
the
it's
tracks.
probably was Rodney.
Maybe.
So on that note, kids, don't do drugs, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Lawyer Dana podcast. Like, subscribe,
Like our
and-
page.
we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you, Bridget.
Thank you, Bridget.
The Lawyer Dana Podcast.